Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be doing a little bit more work on the comic that we started yesterday. So yeah, it's going to be more line work essentially. It's not going to be something super, it's something that I enjoy. It's how do I put this? When you find something you're good at and you start doing it for a long time, it starts becoming very enjoyable. I've used the phrase meditative before. I think that's still like the closest one that I've been able to find that fits kind of like how I feel about it, right? Like I'm kind of in my element and I just enjoy doing it. I opened the wrong file just now, but that's fine. Nobody needs to know. Here we go. This is still the wrong file, but we will need it. I think it's useful because it has a full body reference of like Amelia and everyone. No, hang on. Did my sometimes like the buttons on I use a numpad. I've talked about this before. I don't use a kind of like toolbox or anything like that. I use a USB numpad in order to do most of my like edited work. So like I have one key map to zoom in, one other key map to zoom out. And it works for me, it's functional. I like it. But sometimes because it is at like a shitty $15 numpad that I bought off of Amazon, it does have its shall we say limitations. So I just feel like I didn't quite move it right just there. Let me try that again. Let's see this. I just want to lengthen the legs just a tiny bit because they feel a little bit stumpy still. Of course, I might accidentally be giving her like double supermodel legs, but that's fine. Nobody will notice when it's like literally one of the things in the foreground. I've heard that like you can achieve a longer look to your legs by kind of shortening the how do I say this? Like I've heard of like a lot of fashion tips talk about how you want to look like you have long legs, right? First of all, I don't really understand that. From what I understand, from what I've heard, like long torsos are where it's at. For some reason, I'd rather not cite my sources, but that's at least what I've heard. You know what I think it is as well? I think it's like the thigh and the thigh to calf ratio is like whacked out. Hmm. There we go. Okay, I like that. Oh yeah, I was going to work on the background for this page. I feel like I should probably try to do that first. Because my idea is to like make one general background that I can just like mess around with. Like kind of like how I did this floor. I can just add additional stuff on top of this floor when I'm coloring to, achieve the means to my ends. But kind of thinking on it, I think before I make the background, I should probably try to fill in at least the black tones that I'm going to be using. Hang on, I just spotted something here. There we go. Okay, what is... Oh, I see. I don't have close gap turned on. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, now much like our universe, this belt is a closed system. Yeah. I was brain fried at a young age by reading the Wikipedia article for the eventual fate of the universe. Folks, let me tell you, it is weird as hell, no matter how you slice it. Yeah. It's not like I had an existential dread about it or anything. I just had I was like, man, that's fucking weird. That was my entire reaction to it. Not like, oh god, the universe is going to explode one day. I mean, it will. Like that, we're not getting out of that one. Entropy has kind of assured us of that. But how existence as we know it is snuffed out is still a matter of debate. Yeah, I mean everybody's heard about like the big crunch, right? I'm not sure if they teach that in schools. I don't know if they teach children about the big crunch in schools. Something about this is bothering me as well. I don't know what, I can't quite place my finger on what it is that's bothering me though. I think maybe I need to like do some white line work. Hmm. No, not quite. I'm actually kind of digging having the additional little like bit of white right here. But yeah, I think that might be the way to do it. Not like do the whole line, but just little bits of it at a time. Like just a silhouette, if you will. I don't know if that's enough. Yeah, I feel like maybe I need to introduce. Hang on, what if instead of like adding stuff to it, we try to take away some of the shadow that we've built? Okay, yeah, that's not bad. No, not quite. All right, so I'm trying to think of like where the light would be coming in from here. I feel like the spear would probably emit some light, as would the sword. But if we have like the light source coming in from two directions, then I mean, really, there's no rules. When as an artist, when a light source comes in from two directions, that's almost like, how like there's that unspoken rule that if a teacher doesn't show up for like 15 minutes, you don't have class. Basically, that's what happens. God, that was really embarrassing. It happened one time to me in university where we were like, okay, yeah, if the teacher's not here in like 15 more minutes, we're just leaving. But the problem was that the teacher showed up like on minute 16. And I was still like just chilling, just doing nothing. And the teacher was like, oh, thank God, I have at least one student to lecture to. And I was like, shit. The gift of knowledge is never to be spurned. But the thing is, I would have liked some time back to my day. Hmm. Is that anything? Is this something? I feel like it isn't. I feel like it does need to be like a little bit more subdued. Why is that not working anymore? Uh-oh. Did the program freeze? It stuttered. Just like I do. We all stutter from time to time. We can't be expected to be lexical geniuses 100% of the time, so we should allow computer programs to stutter a little bit. Lexical genius, I don't think is a real word. Is lexical genius like a what do you call? Not sure. I swear to God, I've had this brain fart before. Like I was thinking of the word for like cromulent. I think it's the one. Cromulent was not a made up word to like signify that something can be a word, right? This is gonna bug me. Hang on, I gotta Google this. Cromulent. Fine, acceptable, or normal. Excellent, realistic, legitimate, or effective. No, there's a Merriam-Webster article about it. Huh. Well, apparently it was started by The Simpsons. You learn something new every day. Let's see. Okay, and then I think we can do some more stuff for like Hawk over here. Okay, like this. I feel like I need to have a little bit more space on the shade right here, or on where the light hits. Sometimes I like think to myself how easy it must have been to forge documents before we had like the internet. Because I'm thinking like to maybe like a cow, like the Wild West. Some dude could just roll up on a town, flash a sheriff's badge, and be like, I'm the sheriff of a town not too far from here." And unless they're very good neighbors with that town, chances are nobody's going to check you on that. I mean, they won't believe you for sure, but like, there's no way for them to like, for all they know, you could be a sheriff. I don't know if like badges were made from like a specific material at that time. I think that was like one big thing, is that like stuff was made from like specific materials to make it more difficult to counterfeit. Yeah. I remember watching a Puppet History episode where they discuss like how Isaac Newton tried to like foil this one mastermind counterfeiter, and like what he introduced that thing where like coins have like little ridges in them to help you tell they're fake or not. I don't know if anybody still uses those. I mean, these days, with all the like micro industry going around, how hard could it be to commission some dude to build you like a metal ridging machine, right? Can't be that hard, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine there must have been like some kind of like weird verification system as well. Like, for example, you were given like one copy of like what the Emperor's seal was supposed to look like, or something, and you had to protect that copy with your life, because if you lost it, then like, or like if they updated it, you were out of luck. Yeah, that's another difficult thing to keep track of, I imagine. It's like, who has access to this information, right? Like, we know that these people are supposed to know what the Emperor's seal looks like, but like, how many of them actually have that information in circulation? Do we know? Is there like a way to know that? Okay, there we go. I'm glad that I started playing music during my streams. I feel like it's during copyright-free music while I'm streaming it actively, not in the VOD. Again, many apologies to the VOD viewers. Someday we'll be able to get like a theme song that doesn't grade after the millionth time you've heard it, or after the second time you've heard it. I'm still so sorry that I subjected everyone to having like that one consistent looping song. I hope that people who used to watch me and maybe dropped off know that I've changed that. I do wonder if maybe that was like the final straw for at least a few of them. It must have been. Again, like in retrospect, if you think I'm funny enough, you could probably tune it out. But I imagine it's tough. I imagine it's real tough. Someone out there will just by virtue of having seen my streams have it stream in horse stance. It's been a minute since we've seen that redeem. But I have a fun trick up my sleeve. Also, thanks, Bunny. Anyway, I have a fun trick up my sleeve that, like, now because I have an adjustable height desk, I can stream in horse stance as low as I want and still be comfortable. All right, let me get a friggin' timer going up here. All right, where is my browser source? Aquí está. Chainsaw. Alrighty. Let me get this sucker in here. Let me rev up old Betty. I come in, yeah. Yeah, no, just, yeah, Buddy just drops in, everything goes completely pear-shaped. And that's why they're a boss. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Timer. Is this in minutes? We could do 3 minutes, I think. 3 minutes horse stance. Yeah, that's 3 minutes. Let me raise my desk a little bit. Okay. Alright, if I don't see y'all on the other side, tell Rice Beast I loved it. Okay. Nah. Okay, the shadow on this is no longer working for me. I mean, this kind of works. Rest in peace, Paps. It's fine, I've already died more times than I can count. Hang on. Okay, this is something. Okay, hang on. Or wait, I guess it'll be the other way around if the light's coming in from over here. There we go. Just gotta, like, really go loose and easy with it. Hang on, this curve is bothering me. Let's flip this around so it follows the curve of my hand. If I fall over after this is over, please, promise you guys won't laugh at the crashing and falling noise. I actually like being in horse stance at least a little bit at a time. I feel like it's good, especially if I haven't, like, exercised for a bit. I feel like it's like, I don't know how to put it. This might just be like me being at least 40% meathead, but I say as if it wasn't my doing. It's fine. I have the if I really hated it all that much, I wouldn't have it up as a redeem. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of fun to get into, like, stances and, like, do, like, you know, big like muscle things after you haven't done them for a while. And, like, it just feels good to move around your body. Or in my case, just, like, put it in one position and just keep it for a little bit. Okay. Oh, we have 30 seconds left. Nice. Okay. I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to get 3 minutes through. Hopefully. Might have to take off my sweater after this. Let's see. Yeah, it was a real chilly day out today. Like, these days, like, it gets very cold in the morning, but it cools down towards the evening. Okay, cools down was not the right word. It warms up in the evening. Oh, that's the timer done. Okay, time to, like, shimmy out of this. Okay. That's good. Okay. Whew. Okay. Where were we? Right, arm shadow. Okay. Then... I wonder what part of this I should make darker. Oh, maybe if I like add a little bit of after shadow to these things to show like there's ones behind them. I think that would be a good one. There we go. Okay, extend that a little bit. You did it. Yeah, I did it. I feel like I need to get back into my training more often. You know, I've been working from home a lot lately, so I should take that opportunity to get a little bit more exercise in. You know, given that I don't have to deal with commute for the moment. Oh, I missed a spot here. Let's see. But yeah, I remember there was like one, what do you call, like apocryphal legend about like ninjas training themselves to jump higher by essentially like beginning their training by like planting down a kind of plum tree, I think. And then whenever they want, and then they would like jump over it every day. And as the tree began to grow higher, they'd have to jump higher and higher as well. So like because of that like conditional training over time, they'd be able to like jump over mountains or whatever. Like I said, highly apocryphal. I doubt anybody actually did that, did they? I mean, I know Qigong training is kind of weird sometimes, but you know, that's just by virtue of like them essentially inventing ancient Chinese parkour. So I feel like they can get a little bit of a pass for that one. You know, Qigong training is essentially like you put together a plank and a rock, and you jump, and you essentially like keep running up the plank and then just like tilting it higher and higher until eventually you've kind of like practically got it vertical, and you need to be able to scale that. Yeah, of all the things that could have like gotten, yeah, if you haven't heard of Qigong, it's essentially that kind of like wire fu that you see in movies. That's kind of like the basis of it from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and that's supposed to be like the thing that in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's gonna be a hell of a title for me to say. Is Qigong like that like wire running thing where they look like they're flying? That's supposed to be Qigong, and I've actually seen like footage. There is like one YouTube video that I found of like a dude showing off like what you can do with it, and it's pretty sick. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Oh, my browser source is still up. I don't really need that anymore. Got it. Now I'm just imagining like my worst nightmare is that I'll accidentally have a source on that I wasn't meant to have on, and like people will see something embarrassing there. Which I like. It might happen. It'll happen someday, I imagine. It might have happened already, to be honest. You know, I don't know if it would be as embarrassing as like my social information. You know, I feel like all my social information is fine because then I could just like never publish the VOD and it'll be fine. But I feel like if it's like just something embarrassing, it's like not worth unpublishing. I suppose it's a matter of like the scale of the thread, right? Like it's bad if like my credit card info got leaked, but if it would probably be fine if like people knew that I liked, like I don't know, fucking that I was like buying My Little Pony figurines on Amazon. I don't have anything personally against My Little Pony figurines. I just couldn't think of like something like I have this thing where I like hate people knowing anything that I want to keep private. So it doesn't take a whole lot for me to crack. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like My Little Pony, like the My Little Pony fandom, is actually making like a resurgence. I remember watching some of the episodes as a kid because like I accidentally I saw some memes of it, and I was like, oh, hey, that looks like an interesting show, just like Adventure Time or whatever. And I saw a few episodes, and I was like, this is a great show. And then I just didn't think about it for the rest of my life. Let's see. Mood. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, and then we can actually do that trick that I was trying to do earlier, where we can apply some of the white over the arm texture and whatever. Where's the hard eraser? So I feel like, hang on, there's an easier solution to this. There we go. I've been getting better at catching myself trying to do these sorts of things. I operate on a very occasionally I'll operate on a very kind of like, if it doesn't work, don't fix it kind of mindset, which is fine for the most part, because in terms of art, I've already kind of like gotten my workflow down to a science, basically. So that's all well and good, but the thing is, like, sometimes I don't think about like how I could improve my own circumstances in terms of art, and that is bad. Yeah. I like, for some reason, I feel like a lot of my quote unquote art learning has shifted from, hey, I want to get better at this one specific like part of art. What do I need to do that? And now it's more like, I want to be able to do this whole medium. Like, for example, like nowadays like, for example, learning Blender. I feel like that was more like art learning for me. Like, I feel like that's something that I did to quote unquote learn art, but while it has its benefits, it's not really like improving my technical skill at all. It's just giving me a new skill, period. Yeah. I've been meaning to do like training arc ideas. The problem is that unless they're tied to something like this, I have like an issue kind of kicking my own keister into doing it. I feel like that goes for a lot of people, though. Like, unless there's something they specifically want to achieve, it's very difficult to want to focus on something. Like, for example, like, I remember that I got really into Blender because I wanted to make my own 3D model. And I did eventually accomplish that, scuffed though it may be. Yeah, like, I do have like a 3D model. That's something that I can say I have now, which is really awesome. It's really cool. And for all that, I feel like it's still worth trying to learn those new mediums, but it's also good to like expand on the depth of the stuff that you already know. And that's something that I want to work on. Does that qualify as a New Year's resolution? I hope not. Those things always get jinxed for me. Rather, it's more like I immediately forget what my resolutions were, and I can't really bring myself to do them. I mean, yeah, I have like annual goals and whatnot, but those aren't really like the same as resolutions. I feel like resolution implies like a level of discipline that's not really in most of my goals. Most of my goals are really just like, most of my goals when I make them in the year are highly functionality driven, I guess would be the best term. Like, I don't do them because I think they'll be fun. I do them because I need to do them. Pragmatic, I suppose, would be a word. I've been putting on this. I recently ran out of lip balm, so I went to the drugstore to get some more. And boy, let me tell you, since my schoolyard days, they have made some major improvements to lip balm. I smell like a concentrated container of vanilla. See, can I erase this bit? I feel like we don't need this line right here. Wait, what do I have? Okay, I still have these lines out here. Those can go. Okay. We have a good color balance now for the foreground. Now we need something for the background as well. Like I said, once I nail the background, it should be pretty smooth sailing. At least for the next, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. How long does this sequence last? I think it lasts for about six or so. Excuse me there. I think it lasts for about 6 or so panels, unless I'm mistaken. Okay, it's 1, 2. Okay, so it lasts for about 6 or so panels, 6 or 7 panels. I could work with that. Okay. Need to erase this bit here too. Okay. So now for the background, I actually want to pull in a reference from page 5 that I used to have. Yeah, this thing. Where are you? Oh, it's not visible as a layer source. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is tough because like this is like, I feel like it's supposed to be like a very, I don't know how to put it. Like it's supposed to be like a part of the mansion. Like I feel like this is almost a museum rather than a mansion, but the vibe is going to be essentially the same. Okay. Yeah, we have, okay, so we had in page 5 them like leaping over this balcony. That balcony circles back around over here to a kind of mezzanine, I think. Or, you know, whatever mezzanine is one of those things that has always been like super difficult for me to conceptualize. Like in theory, it's a simple idea. A mezzanine is just like a floor between like, you know, this would be like, for example, floor 2, and this would be floor 1. So a mezzanine would essentially be like a middle floor right here, which the stairs like lead to and then lead back out of. And I feel like this would be really appropriate for like a super fancy place where they're supposed to be at right now. Okay, then. What if, okay, what's the kind of perspective on this one? On this layer? Can we use that? Okay. Okay, so here's my plan. We have like, okay, so we'll have a kind of staircase, kind of lead, okay. We need to show some pillars too. That's another thing. We need to have like pillars back in the background here. Okay. I kind of want, okay, so I think the best way to do it is to place them not quite in the thirds here. I wonder if like a background, like I feel like a background almost might not be necessary at all for this, but I want to have this. I want to have it in at least one of the panels. Okay, so rule of third. Okay, so thirds-ing our way through this. Suggest mirrors is getting kind of crowded in here. Let's see. Okay. I feel like we're so very close to having everything be in the rule of thirds. And that's kind of annoying. So the maids and like Hawk are actually pretty perfect. Amelian's also really good. It's bothering me that the maid's hand isn't like exactly over here, but that's not really like, that's not something to like lose sleep over, I don't think. So what I'm going to suggest we do in my devious little plan, I don't know. I don't know if I'm capable of devious. Mischievous, certainly. I think I can do mischievous, but devious does, I don't think suits me. Yeah. Dastardly maybe. Dastardly is like a hard maybe, but you know, devious I don't think I'm capable of doing. Okay, and then we'll have like some big old pillars like over here in the background. Okay. Man, I hope these lines make sense once I remove most of everything in here. Let's see. Actually, we're going to want this one slightly out of place here. Okay. Okay, so I need to like, okay, select color gamut, this red color right here, please. Hang on. Preset a little bit. No. Hang on. Control D. Okay, no, that's still leaving an outline. This upsets me. I'm telling you, somebody decided that alias stuff doesn't print as good as anti-alias stuff just to spite me. That's not true. I mean, it feels that way sometimes, but that's almost certainly not true. I don't know. I could just have like a nemesis in the printing industry that I just haven't been made aware of yet. That's happened before. I feel like the only way I'm going to get like a heated rivalry with a nemesis is if I just absolutely don't know about them. Because I think if I do know about them, I'll just try to like make friends with them or some shit. That's not how a rivalry works. Or so anime leads me to believe. I don't know. I feel like in the 50s, in 50s in the western in the 50s in the West, I feel like it would have been super like having that kind of like weird, you know, that kind of like shonen anime rivalry. That would have been seen as a really cool idea. The individualism at the core of the culture at the time, I feel would have really like, you know, I feel like that's a strong argument in my case that there was like a strong element of individualism at the time. So having that kind of idea of a rivalry would have been pretty dynamite for the folks in the 50s. Okay, this will be like the fence thing. Fence? That's not quite right. Okay, let me turn off that ruler real quick. Man, I was about to say I need to go visit more mansions in order to figure out like their layouts and what they should look like, because I feel like that would be the easiest way to like understand how this thing should be laid out. But most of the mansions built today are just kind of whack as hell. Yeah, there's a term McMansion, right? Yeah, there's a similar term in martial arts, McDojo. So it's a McDojo is like a place that just hands essentially like they're also called black belt factories. Essentially, their purpose is to just like sucker people into like joining their training group and just like essentially fleece them for money by giving them shit training. They're usually like run by very underqualified instructors and everything. Yeah, that or they usually refer to like what was that one so-called chi-based martial arts that like could make the grandmaster like knock a dude out at like 50 paces or something. They did like a Mythbusters episode on it. Not even a Mythbusters episode. They just like did it on like I think it wasn't a Super Eye Patch Wolf video actually about like fraud or like fraudulent martial arts. But yeah, there was like this one martial art where like essentially the clips you saw of it was like the instructor like teaching a bunch of white middle-aged people in like a big field of grass, and like the instructor would like wave his hands and like all the people there would like just go down, and like it was supposed to show that like he had power over like chi and everything. So the funny thing about that is that chi is just breathing. Chi literally just chi at its basis idea just means how you breathe. That's why it's considered so important, and like it's such a like a component of power in like particularly Chinese martial arts, because if you control your breathing, you can use that to kind of control how your muscles move. Essentially, it's just a very old school imaging technique. The idea of like chi and how it flowed through the body. People try to turn it into medicine, but in most cases it didn't work. But yeah, so chi is not like a life force, or like people. It's not going to let you like blood bend or anything. It's just like breathing. So the idea that this guy could manipulate it like to that extent implies that either he could like Vader choke people, or that he's full of it. Hmm. I feel like this needs to have like chandeliers hanging down from it. Do we have a reference for the chandeliers in here? Yes, we do. Okay. Okay. No, no, hang on. That needs to be okay, either further up or further away. I feel like further up, because otherwise it's going to be bad if that intersects with the wall back there. That's. I was trying to replicate this thing, but I don't think it worked out. Hmm. Man, I do wonder how they lit these things before electricity. Like, did the servants just have to like break out ladders at like 6 p.m. at the estate, and then just light these suckers one by one? Were they like gas worked? I mean, obviously, I think these guys are electrical. Yeah, these guys are for sure electrical. And the wax. What would have happened with the falling wax? But maybe they were made of paraffin or something. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they had like paraffin refills. I mean, then again, it's not that you needed a particularly large ladder. You just needed a very long match, and I think that is how it worked back in the day. That they just had like these long sticks of fire to light these things. Hmm. There we go. And we can just copy and paste that sucker. Just kind of across the hall here. When I try to think about like what a fancy house might look like, what I actually picture to some extent has to be probably the environments in Resident Evil 4. Actually, that might not be a bad idea, because like I remember Resident Evil 4 took place in a big fancy house in one part of the game. Oh yeah, here's the good stuff. Look at that. Oh, this is a remake in Unreal project, actually. Oh, and I guess it could have had like pretty low, like lower candlesticks, huh? That would also work if you wanted the vibe. Oh wait, no, this isn't the Resident Evil 4 mansion. This is just a Resident Evil mansion done on like Unreal Engine 4. I don't know if I should be disappointed at that. I don't think it's my place to be disappointed at that. But yeah, this helps a little bit, actually. What I've got is slightly more, how do I put this? Spartan than that. So I think there is room for improvement for sure. So I think step one is probably making this thing slightly thicker. How's that gonna interact with everything? Oh, that's fine. That's just gonna like slightly clip over Hawk's head. Then I think it'd be a good idea to make like the doors squarish rather than roundish like this. Not only because it's like easier to keep track of their heights consistently and it'll look nicer, but because the broke that the slow down there, champ. The door that they broke out of in page 5 is also similarly like that. Square, I mean. There's no other door like it, and there never will be. God rest its soul. I don't know. I do wonder that, like, if so, Theseus quandaries aside, if you break a door like that, does that mean it's effectively dead? I imagine like if you like action movie style, just power kicked it open, and it like tore off the doorknob, because I think that's what's supposed to happen when you like when you're supposed to like open a door that way. I do remember one time somebody posted like an image of like a dude, almost like Pieta style, looking over like the dude was just like, it was a dude in like one of those like MMA rash guards, and he was just like hunched over this dummy, this training doll. It was one of those like cactus shaped ones that are made for like grappling. But the dummy had been like sliced, like torn open essentially, and you could see like it's stuffing on the floor like confetti. And the person who posted the image captioned it like, "He is dead. You killed him," or something like that. And it was, and I always found it really funny. Yeah, I feel bad when I break stuff, but I think like in that case it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's weird. I don't feel bad necessarily like throwing away some of my older possessions. Like I've never felt like guilty about like letting go of old clothes, but I've always felt guilty if like I break something and I didn't mean to. Like some things are made to be broken, like glow sticks. But like if it's like something that was like that I had like a surprising attachment to, then I was like devastated. Well, I mean, with a good reason, right? Like, it's obvious that, like, if you break something you like, you'll be sad. But I feel like I took it as like a failure to myself, you know. Ugh. Let's take another look at the pillars in here. These are fancy. Let me crack open the references for the later pages as well. Make sure that I'm getting everything correct. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so I've got an idea for what I can do for the pillars. It's a little bit of like a round knob, square base, and then slightly... Actually, I can probably widen the circle and the like square base. Also, I'm not sure why I call the round part here a knob. Pillars don't have those. Those are for doors. Broadly, I think a pillar could have a knob if it wanted to, if it wanted hard, if it so desired. Hang on, I gotta check something real quick. Not vis-a-vis like pillars and knobs, but vis-a-vis like, okay, so it would cut off at around here. Okay. What do the top of these things look like? Okay. So I think we could definitely work that in. I think this will make like a very nice natural frame for everything as well. Oh. Yeah. Recently, out of concern for like the health of my ears, you know, I don't know if listening to music 24/7, listening to music 24/7 on your on headphones is probably not the best for you, but maybe for slightly different reasons that I'm one I'm thinking of. But in any case, I've started listening more to a little portable speaker that I have. It's a cute little Miniso one that I bought for like practically nothing back in the day, and I've been listening to it more while I work because, you know, it's nice to just have a little bit of music. At work, I would just normally listen to the music on my phone as well. So this isn't like a mega drastic change. In any case, I've been listening to more music through the loudspeaker while I work. But the issue is, a lot of my music is like electronic music. And, you know, I'm not sure how many neighbors I have. I don't know if I have next door neighbors at all. They might not even be bothered by electronic music. They might think that, oh, hell yes, weirdly, the sporadically loud young man next door is playing more jungle. At last. Yeah, I got some pendulum going in there. But I've been circumventing this by going back and playing more Louis Zong albums. I bought the, what do you call it, the collection he has on Bandcamp the other day. And I've just been like tuning into a couple of those every now and again, and they're nice. It's very good because like he always makes very chill, kind of like very ambient. Ambient might not be the right word actually. Like a lot of all the music is like themed, but it works for my purposes, right? Man, I hope I'm not like wasting too much time on this background. But this is kind of like going to be like the big set piece for the comic is the thing. I feel like it's not a bad thing that I'm necessarily spending. It's not a bad thing necessarily that I'm. Oh crap! Hang on. Oh, I'm I'm on the wrong pillar. Hold up. Okay. Okay, yeah. That looks much more reasonable. Oops. Let me get this in here, actually. Hmm. I feel like I should have something back here. Like right here, specifically. I could make it so that there are 3 doors. That's a good idea, actually. Have there be like 1 door at every intersection of the rule of thirds. Additionally, I must mention that everything in here is going to need to be like paper thin if I wanted to work at all with like the already fairly busy foreground. But that's more of a skill. That's kind of a skill issue, so I'm sure I'll be able to step up to it. Yeah. in most contexts, skill issue to me is like if it was a fighting game, if somebody said this was like a skill issue, I'd be like angry. But because it's like skill issue in art, I just feel nonplussed. It does not affect me. The setup looks good. I'm really happy with this, how this background is coming out along. Actually, looking at the reference picture from a video game for a mansion was probably a good idea. The thing about video game mansions, right? Even though they might not have all the amenities of like a real mansion, or some that wouldn't exist in a real mansion. So, for example, like having lock mechanisms that require you to gather like 3 different gemstones and insert them into like a statue to open a door. I feel like looking at the video game backgrounds for certain things is like a good idea because it provides you like the theme park version of whatever you're looking at. And most of the time you kind of want that because you want those kind of like symbols. Where is this chandelier even going? You kind of want those symbols of whatever it is that you're moving around. Should I just have like an axe here? Huh. Actually, you know what? That doesn't look too bad. Although it does beg the questions why the robot maids went directly for, respectively, a superheated fire poker and like a meat carver that just happens to be laser powered. But I'll leave that to be like questions of, well, they wouldn't want to mess up the house. Being maids and all, they have strict honor codes about all that. Particularly being robot maids. Yeah, the reason they're able to chase these two around without worrying about like Isaac Newton's laws or whatever is because robot maids follow a slightly different protocol. Instead of a... Actually, what were the 3 laws of robotics? Hang on. Let's see. First law. A robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm. Okay, so that one's right out. For what I should hope are obvious reasons. Yeah, what's the second one? A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such an order would conflict with the first law. And third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Yeah. I remember being weirdly obsessed with Isaac Asimov's I, Robot as a kid. Not particularly because like I was interested in like robots, but I think like I just found the idea of it cool. Like I just like the short stories within it, even though some of them were more unbelievably fucked up. Yeah, what was like one of them? I think one of them was like a robot just manages to like circumvent one of the laws by the fact that like it has like a slightly stronger programming because like Asimov did not intend for these suckers to be like like hard and fast, like if we ever end up making robots, then we need these to be the laws. Like he didn't make them for that purpose. He made them as a piece of speculative fiction, as kind of like a rule, a magic system almost. Like if you think about how like a magic system is made in most fantasy stories, a similar concept I imagine was used to make these laws. Like he needed something to build off of. Like he wanted to create a world and then flip that world around and be like, hey, wouldn't it be fucked up if these violations of the rules of the world that I've established happened? And he was right, they were fucked up. Yeah. It's really cool when like you can apply stuff like, oh hey, magic system consistency to stuff like science fiction. Because the difference between like fantasy and science fiction is really a razor's width apart. Can I bring this back real quick? What's this? Okay. Okay, let's put the first pillar somewhere here. The second one's going to be covered up by the legs here. The third one's going to be right here. Fourth one's going to be right here. Actually, these would probably be better if I slightly shifted them. This one's a little farther away than the other ones. There we go. Equidistant suckers. There we go. And then just move them like that. How's that look? And then just having a little bit of that, like, what do you call? Of those arches down here. There we go. I think that's a pretty good, like, first pass of everything. Okay. So then my question is, do I draw this? Okay, my first question is, how do I draw this? So here's what I think would be the best approach. I grab these guys and I grab these guys, I lower their opacity a little bit. I think just having very thin lines would be the best way to do it. There's that idea, right? The 20-30-10 principle, or the 60-30-10 principle. If you've never heard about that, hang on. Essentially, it's an idea of design, particularly color, where what you want to do is you want to have... Hang on. Okay, so you want to have 60% of the piece be one single color, 30% of it be like a secondary color, or split that between kind of like associated secondary theme, 15-15, and then just 10% for like a nice kind of contrast, high contrast accent. So what I'm thinking, hang on. What would be best? Where's the chart from? This one in particular is from, hang on, let me try to get to the site. mmicreative.com. Yeah, this it's like the 60-30-10 rule is like a design thing, but this one specific chart comes from mmicreative.com. I can post a link right there. But yeah, it's a handy concept to have around. Yeah, the fun thing about design, and by fun I mean completely infuriating, is that once you get good enough at it, or not even good enough at it, I feel like once you start to get a good... This chandelier is in the wrong place as well now, I think. Yeah, I think... Wait. Anyway, I've never heard of that theory in class, so I was curious. Yeah. I think like if you're taking a normal art course, it's probably not a thing. I think it's definitely more for like graphic design more than like visual, just like general visual art. But it's like, but it helps to make like a striking design piece. Okay, so I think I can solve the chandelier problem very easily by just expanding the chandelier wire, which is the good news. Although it's bothering me that they're not in tune with the pillars. It's bothering me. It shouldn't bother me. It does. That was a stupid freaking perfectionism. My greatest ally and my worst nightmare. I wouldn't say I'm much of a perfectionist normally, but when it comes to like stuff like this, oh yeah, they're not equidistant either. Oh, that's rough. Okay. The good news is that the ones which are going to cause the least amount of disruption are the ones that need to be moved. Hmm. Why can't I move this? Hello? Oh, I'm moving the grid, I see. Yeah, okay, that works. Hmm. But yeah, I'm still wondering how to do this. I gotta go grab something real quick. I'll be right back. Aquí está. Sorry to leave my disembodied corpse there for a second. I needed to grab something from my bookshelf. There was this webcomic that I used to follow pretty enthusiastically called Johnny Wonder. The creators are now doing a different story, but essentially it was like an autobiography comic. And they have a really good use of like tone patterns. So I use those as a reference for like how tone patterns should work. Maybe they go a little bit too heavily on them, that being said. But it's still a very charming autobiographical comic. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So I was wondering if there was like a precedent that I could use, because one of my ideas is to essentially not. So I would, the way this would work is that I would make this on a normal raster layer, nice and cleaned up, and then overlay it or impose it as tone pattern. I want to try doing that. Either way, I'll end up drawing it, so there's no use in kind of worrying about it too much. Hang on, let me put these guys at like 10% visibility so I can hardly see them. All right, let's start with like the usual suspect. Unrelated, gave Lily a treat, and the way she snapped it up. Oh, that's so cute. Snapping turtle. Dude, I used to think that snapping turtles would be so much more of a problem than they actually were for me in my life. Like, conceptually speaking, you know how like some kids develop like irrational fears of like sharks or alligators, what have you, as children? I used to be super scared of snapping turtles. Which isn't an unreasonable fear to have, I feel like snapping turtles are almost like the geese of the aquatic world. I guess geese would be the aquatic geese of the aquatic world, huh? I mean, no, like, or apparently quicksand. Yeah, I mean, quicksand. I think is a pretty universal one. Like, you always used to think that, like, at least for me, right? I always used to think that quicksand was going to be much more of a problem than it actually was. Okay, what would be the center for this? Crap, how many pixels big is this? Is there a way to like figure out like your what the size of wait, so oh my god, the perspective line also does like selections. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I feel like that would be really handy for like I don't know, the backgrounds. Anyway, I was thinking about something. Right, okay. Oh wait, I can probably figure this out with like grid settings. Okay, I cannot check which. Okay, so I can't actually check which. Hang on, there might be another way. I'm trying to figure out how to center this thing. Come on, tell me your secrets. Wait, is that that from the perspective ruler or from the? No, okay, that's from the symmetry ruler. That's good. Okay, wait, hang on. This is 11 inches wide, which means that this would be at 5.5 inches wide. Okay, hang on. Wait, I can also triangulate this by. Wait, hang on. I think I might be having a brain genius moment. Okay. This would be 0, and then the other side would be. I'm gonna call that 6,600. Okay, so the middle of this would be 3,300. And thus we use math. That was probably definitely more complicated than it needed to be. Oh well, I guess that's life. There we go. You know what I'm also relieved that I did the other day? I actually saved the texture for that for the railing that I did on page 5. That's going to save me quite a bit of trouble very soon. There we go. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Be right back. I don't know why I say I'm going to be right back when I'm literally just muting my mic for 3 seconds. Well, whatever loose assurance it may provide, I'm happy to provide it. Oh, I see. The ghosts of the characters in the foreground are interrupting the lines. It'd be like that. All right, here we go. This is going to be the tricky one. Yeah, extra thick in the middle. Just how I like my sandwiches. Let's see. That's coming up. Oh wait. Okay, so I'm not gonna do much to the no, that I can do stuff fine too. Which one is this? I see, it's that one. Oh wait. Hang on. Wait. What's happening here? All right, I gotta focus up. I'll ask questions later. Draw first and ask questions later. Okay, this helps a little bit, actually. Hang on. Hmm. Okay, that's good. We just need a couple more of those. Actually, we can probably just copy him over here. Does this also work on the symmetry? No? Oh, well, that's fine. I can just copy and paste this a few times over, and that'll be fine too. Actually, before I do that, then, might as well also join these two together. Just like spot weld those suckers like that. Oh, wait, I see where I went wrong here. Wait, no I don't. Hang on. Hold up a minute. Well, these guys aren't actually equidistant then. If that's the case, I might as well throw out the idea of like being able to draw slightly different ones for these guys. No, that's bothering me. It's bothering me a lot. Still on the eraser tool there, bud. Wait, I've got it. We can solve this with math, probably. I forgot how I was going to solve this with math. Wait, no, now I remember. All right, so the idea was to essentially make a line right here, and then make a line for where these things would like reach their apex. And then here we go. I didn't mean to erase that line just there. Hang on. Simplify. Yeah, why not? Okay, I think we've proven that this can work. But does it look good? Yeah, this middle one's always going to need a little bit of extra attention, I think. Come on. Get dragged over here. A thing that I've been recently thinking on a little bit was that my mother used to have a saying that, like, de eso ni te salva Tarzan, which basically means not even Tarzan's going to save you from that one. Which I think it might be the funniest possible way of saying, like, you're not getting out of this. I think it comes from the idea that like Tarzan can swoop in on like a vine or whatever and like save you. Hands down, my favorite Spanish saying has to be "pensando en la media inmortalidad del cangrejo," which literally means pondering the crab's half immortality, which is a fancy way of like saying that you're thinking about literally nothing. You're like daydreaming. Yeah. It's weird that I had foreshadowing about like the fact that crabs and lobsters by extension are functionally immortal. Actually, wait, do crabs also have that weird gene that lobsters have that let them be immortal? I don't know if crabs have the immortality gene. Yeah, I'm not making that up, by the way. Lobsters have an immortality gene. Essentially, they have this additional, what do you call it, like what would you call it? Like they have this additional protein thing that they can do that lets them copy their DNA flawlessly for years and years, so they don't suffer the effects of aging like humans might. Which is a pretty great deal for lobsters, considering that they, fair trade off for being cooked alive in a lot of cases. But, hang on. Let me lower the opacity of this a little bit further. I had wrong layer. But yeah, lobsters are technically speaking functionally immortal. Assuming that like gravity doesn't get them or that, they don't get eaten. Not even eaten by humans, like eaten just normal fish eaten. Normal fish eaten. I don't think that's a thing. I said that like it was a thing to say. I don't think that normal fish eaten is like a normal thing. Every time a fish is eaten is special. No, that's not true. But yeah, like just in the natural cycle of predation and prey in the deep ocean sea, under the sea, under the sea, under the sea, under the sea. Something. We've got a. I wonder how many other animals we don't know are maybe sort of immortal. Like I don't know, maybe that one Chinese emperor had it right, and Mercury does give you immortality, but it only works on like kangaroos or something, and nobody's thought to try it out because like why would you? A kangaroo has no business being immortal, especially not given the fact that it's born in Australia, Earth's designated death thing. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Yeah. Immortal kangaroos would be a real nightmare. I know we all like remember seeing like kangaroos in like a children's cartoon or something and thinking, "Oh, that's a cute little thing." But they are vicious little bastards. I've seen videos of them. They look like gym rats with a grudge. Let me see if I can't get a picture of like a kangaroo in here. Yeah, like, look at this freaking thing. It's jacked. Yeah, kangaroos are actually like a real menace. Much like a lot of things from Australia, even the things that don't look like they should be able to instantly kill you are capable of killing you. Well, I guess that's not like an Australian thing. I think that's just like a general Earth thing. I mean, you wouldn't think that like maybe like a hare would be able to murder you, or like a goose could murder you. But I feel like they can, and oftentimes might. Well, no, I think the number of goose murders are substantially down. I don't think that goose murders have been a big problem for a while. People know better now. And by goose murders, I don't mean people murdering geese. I mean people getting murdered by geese. There's a fine difference. Hmm. Connect vector. Okay, simplify vector lines. Simplify up. I say simplify up. I feel like I'm giving the line a buff. Like I should see like little like Pokemon type green sparks coming out of it, like saying simplify up. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I need to. I can't actually like do that because hang on, let me bump up the stabilization by quite a bit. I need to make these lines on the first pass because whatever I do to them with the object tool doesn't get mirrored over. Unless I do something drastic, I think. Yeah. Singing the like Under the Sea song reminds me that I still haven't watched The Little Mermaid. I've told people this before, but I don't know. I have a hard time remembering anything about media that isn't like instantly memorable, or like I have a hard time piecing together like what might happen in a movie, even if I haven't seen it. You've never seen The Little Mermaid? I have not. Like at all? I mean, I watched somebody play through the Kingdom Hearts segment of it one time. Does that count? But no, to answer your question, no, not at all. Let's see here. Yeah, I just think no. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess it doesn't count, would it? Leo should know about the Kingdom Hearts segment. Disney movie day. Oh, I see. About that. About okay, I see. I understand what you're. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Hang on. Hang on. Let me actually like move this a little bit further inwards. Yeah. Actually, that makes sense because I'd want the lines to go on a little bit further than they actually would. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I think that works. Oh man, come to think of it, that does also mean that like that part of the lyrics, take it. It's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. I'm literally taking it from you. That it's better down where it's wetter. I haven't seen the movie. That's kind of funny. Let's see here. Plato hates him. This rice pack has discovered this one weird trick to draw a perfect circle every time. Okay, where does that end up? Okay, that's fine. I don't know why I said Plato in that one. I think it's because I think like a sphere is a platonic solid. I think that might have been where that came from. There we go. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, and then from there, I mean, how much time we got left? We got time. We got time. I think we can finish this off and then start panel 2, and that'll probably be time. Again, redraw vector line width. Or actually, I can adjust line width to fix the width here. There we go. Then just add a little something right here. There we go. Now if I just added the stairs here and remove the door and stuff over here and add the... Okay, I need to add the chandelier still. Should probably do the ones on the side here, I think, and then I can just like move it to the middle there. Wait, hang on. If this is supposed to be the middle, then that means I've probably borked up the proportions on this a little bit. Oops. Well, that's fine. Nobody needs to know. Yeah. It's honor code on like an art stream that if the streamer messes something up, you don't point that out ever. You know, even among thieves, there is a measure of honor. Yeah, there is that one phrase, right? Like, all steal like an artist. I steal like a normal criminal, and nobody's ever said anything about how my art looks, so that's not true. I don't live a life of crime. Like I said, I can barely do like dastardly. Yeah. Again, mischievous, definitely. Dastardly, maybe. On a good day, I can do dastardly. Yeah, at this rate, I'll never get my supervillain form. Yeah, my like my like evil supervillain arc is just gonna be me trying to grow out a mustache as hard as I can instead of like, what did I say that I did for like for that one detective game? Like I hunted down a normal Poirot type detective and I just took his. I think that's what I said I did. Yeah, if you can't grow your own mustache, store bought is fine. There we go. Is the mustache one of your objects? I think I had an old one, but I can't put it on right now. I think you can probably redeem it though. I think that there is like a default one here in VTube Studio. Oh yeah, yeah, there it is. There we go. How do I look? Hang on. This is probably like turn out better if it's smaller. How do I look? Oh god, it's moving with my mouth now. I don't like that it's removed my teeth. I look like I'm all gums now. Ah well, that's a price for beauty, I suppose. You know, some people get Botox. I have my teeth removed. It's a fair trade-off sometimes. There we go. Anyway. Okay, so let's do this. And then increase that over here. Move this. Perfect. Oh, yeah, we need to add the little like turny things over here. Turny things, the curves. I don't know why I thought these turned the chandelier, because that's very evidently not what they do. God, could you imagine the danger of like a spinning chandelier? At that point, you might as well get a disco ball. Which would look pretty rad, I think. More mansions should have disco balls, I should think. Yeah. There are those posts that go around from time to time, like if you gave like a medieval peasant boy like Mountain Dew voltage, he would like explode into peasant boy confetti. But I think like something that would really blow like peasants' minds would be like a disco ball. Yeah, I think peasants would love a fucking disco to go to a discotheque. Yeah. One time there was a demonstration from the what do you call? What's this thing called? Like Society for Anachronistic Culture or something like that. It's basically due to do HEMA stuff and also due to do like medieval style sewing, embroidery, dance, cultural what do you call preservation. Like they still make candles the old way. They make like they still practice HEMA stuff. It's historical European martial arts. It's kind of cool, honestly. I if I ever get more time on my hands, I'm definitely going to try and join. I'd love to swing a sword around. But yeah, they had a showing at a comic convention over here, and what was really cool is that they had a segment where like they showed us like this dance, which was very cool. It was like a circle dance. Imagine like this hokey pokey, but it was like kind of hype. I don't know. People might still get hyped for the hokey pokey. I don't know. I don't know what the pulse is on the hokey pokey. I think you know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think there's something about it putting your right hand in and then putting your right hand out. Then perhaps, if you so dare, putting your right hand in and then shaking it all about. Or all around it. I can't. I think I might have beefed the lyrics to hokey pokey right there. That's another thing that I think specifically thought would be a more relevant thing. I think like I was worried that like if I didn't know what the hokey pokey was, the the white kids at school would bully me. To be fair, I like make no mistake, I'm very pale myself, but I feel like if I didn't know what a hokey pokey was, I would like immediately be found out for an imposter. To be fair, like a lot of the stuff that like each family unit, particularly because I like lived in like a place where like there were a lot of foreigners, so a lot of the kids were like European or like South African, what have you. They they had like things that were specific to their cultures, with which the other kids also found weird, but like each of those kids also had a thing that the other kids found weird. Like for example, like I met this one German kid in high school who was like, "Yeah, you guys don't like eat a little dab of butter as a snack sometimes?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, my brother in Christ?" It was quite an experience. I've never forgotten the bit with the butter. Like he just ate a chunk of it right in front of me before my very eyes. I was like, "Yeah, you just eat a little bit of it." I hope that kid's doing okay. Butter boy. Boy with the butter. Maybe I raise this one up a little bit. Does that add anything? I don't know if it does. Wait, I think I'm gonna miss the spot right here. Butterboy sounds like something that like an Amish bully would call you. You know, like I feel like Butterboy is like one of those old school insults. Like some kid in the 1920s would have like walked up to you in the lockers and be like, well, if it isn't the butter boy. And like you'd be like, dude, don't call me that. To be fair, there's been like a long history of like, you know, classist insults, right? Like calling somebody a bumpkin, for example, is like supposed to be like a classist thing. So I think like Butterboy could have very conceivably been an insult. Like if somebody thought that like your family churned butter for a living. Okay, I think we're pretty much done with the chandeliers here. Okay, I think the next part then is making sure that this bit right here is erased. Okay. We just splice these guys together. How are we for time? Yeah, we're fine. It's weird. The things that I think will take no time at all end up taking like half an hour, and the things that I think will take up a huge amount of time end up taking like 19 minutes. To be fair, I've been making this background to all stream, and I thought I would be able to move on to panel 2 eventually. But to be fair, this is like an important part of it, of the like process. Man, I don't know why I'm complicating shit like this. Just smooth it down. There we go. Yeah, see, like that's important. Like I mentioned earlier how a lot of like improving in art is also catching your bad habits. And I think that's like what I did just now is like an example of that. Like I like a less wiser Pabs, a more naive Pabs would have, you know, just tried to tough it out and kept like redrawing the line over and over. But no, now I did something clever. Yeah, patting yourself on the back like this is also part of the process, I think. Yeah, people don't want to admit it, but patting yourself on the back for making progress is also an important part of making progress. I feel personally, like I feel like that should be a bigger part of it, just like acknowledging how far you've come. Like, I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna like get a big ego over it, or like overestimate your skill, but I think that might be like secondary to acknowledging the fact that you have improved, that you have the ability to improve. I think like, I mean, yeah, that like a lot of things, I think it will depend on like what exactly your circumstances are, because if you kind of like go into it right with this idea already that, you know, each person improves in a different way. So, for example, if somebody's flaw was like thinking, okay, I'm hot shit, I don't have anything that I need to improve, then I think definitely like they don't need to continue they don't need like the pat yourself on the back kind of self-regulation advice, whatever, what have you. Rather, what they need is to just kind of like keep pushing themselves. But if you kind of like go into it without really like understanding what the hang on. I think if you have like low esteem over your skills, being able to pat yourself on the back and acknowledging that you can grow, it can be really beneficial. Hold on. Oh, I see what I did. Yeah. Like I said, people need different things when they're being coached. That's true of like literally everything under the sun. There we go. Okay, good. It's just going on this side. For a minute, I was worried that I had the symmetry ruler still on. And boy, let me tell you, that would have been a nightmare. Then raise this up a little bit. No, boys. It's still. Oh, wait. Actually, hang on. Ah, too many lines. I can't keep track of everything. Okay, hang on. Oh, wait, hang on. We might be back in business here. Okay. Wait, no, hang on. That makes sense? Wait, yes, it would. Okay. Oh god, so many lines. Like, I feel like I should probably try to clean these up a little bit before I continue, but if I lose my current, like, streak, I'm never gonna get it back. Okay. So then this would need to be somewhere over here. This would also probably need to be angled a little bit more sharply. Come on. Mm. Okay, I need to pop up the old ruler again. Okay, I think I see where I went wrong here. Maybe. Okay. Then maybe over here? Okay, yes, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere now. Oh god. Yeah, sure. Let's introduce more lines into it, as if we didn't have enough already. Extend this one a little bit over here. The funniest part is that the hardest part of drawing stairs is just drawing the stairs themselves, but everything that comes before that is also hard. It's great. I love it. I love every single step of it. Oh, I didn't mean to make that pun just there. Every step of making the stairs. Okay, that cheered me up a little bit. All right. I'm back in the game. Okay, time to unfuck these lines. Okay, this would kind of vanish there. This would vanish there. These lines wouldn't exist anymore. Hmm. This back one last time. Okay, we've almost got it. I can feel it. Hmm. All right, which perspective line am I supposed to be using for these? Huh. Come to think of it, I should probably try to. Okay, they need to be from like length to length almost over here. Yes, like that. Classy mustache. Thank you. Stronger man than I to do it by hand. Listen, it's sometimes it's about sending a message. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I just brute force things because I just don't know that there's a better way. But sometimes it does just like look better that way. I want to put quality into this thing. I don't know if I'm gonna be on the series forever. So I want, if I only do this one, I want it to be quality. You know. Okay, then over here. Oh god. Okay, then let me just crack my wrist real quick here. And then this would actually kind of like curl upward like this and start moving into this section right here. There we go. I know that Clip Studio Paint does have functions to turn 3D objects into, what do you call, like, turn 3D objects into like raster art. But first of all, that's in like the Pro or like in the EX version, and I don't have that. And second of all, once I don't have a model of this place, I think probably making a model of the background would have taken even longer than, just doing it like this. I suppose it might be slightly a difference in methods. Okay, so what's happening over here? What's the vibe over here? Okay, I see, I see. Okay. Almost done. There we go, and then we can just erase these bits over here. And I think what I can do as well is I can actually probably extend this bit down a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that couldn't hurt. It helps to add to some of the depth of the stairs. Someday I'll be able to do a background without having to rely on all my wonderful tricks. But for the moment, this is what I got. I'm not stupid enough to do a background training arc, though. The thing about training arcs is that you need to have at least some degree of motivation for them. And I don't think I have much of a motivation to draw backgrounds just yet. Like, again, circling back to like the learning Blender, which I consider to be like the best example of a training arc. That was like most of October last year. God, has it really been so long since it was October? That was like, what, the 10th month of the year last year? So it's been like 3 months since then. So I was super motivated to make my own 3D model. I wanted that kind of like under my belt. So it was easy for me to get motivated to learn Blender. But it's, even though it's something that's almost universal, I hardly ever do backgrounds because most of my art either, doesn't have a background because I make it in like 3 hours, or has a very simple background in most cases. I don't know. I'll figure it out or I won't, as I always say. Let's see. Oh, I'm pressing caps lock instead of shift. My bad. Hmm. Here we go. God, I can see my mustache. Because I have OBS open on my second screen, I see my mustache wiggling as I talk from the corner of my eye, and it's kind of funny. Yeah. There's that one theory, right, of like the extent to which you can notice a change in your surroundings. Like if like somebody, for example, wears a slightly like they switch from like wearing a red nail polish to like a purple nail polish mid conversation, you might not actually notice it. But yeah, there is that kind of like change blindness. But like if, for example, I have like a new black object in the corner of my vision, because humans, I guess we're like adapted to hunt roaches or something. I just kind of like see it in my peripheral vision at all times, and it's really funny. Even now, when I'm like cracking this grin, I can feel it. I can see it. I can see it just barely. I really gotta hurry up and make my own mustache redeem. I want to bring back my old green mustache. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just gonna add one last little door over here. What's it look like in the planned version? Hang on. How are we for time? Oh, we can just... I want to try doing something to this background just before I wrap up here. Okay. So this final door might actually be fairly tall. Here we go. Hmm. Okay, I've got an idea for what the door's design can be. There we go. Okay, and then kind of like add this like over here. Oh, con cuidado. Let me take another look at this thing. Yeah, on these like massive doors, you need to have like these massive like knocky things. Giant knockers. Yes, exactly. The giant knockers. The giant beast knockers. Right? You gotta have them, right? Hmm. I do feel like it's still missing something, possibly from the bottom floor here. But for the moment, this should be good enough. Let me try. I want to try something real quick. Wait, no. Hang on. I remember what I'm missing. Okay. I'm going to do a couple things. First, I am going to add like doors to the bottom here because I feel like that's just... it'll be less... It's like the least interfere way of having something down there. Interfere, that's not a word. Intrusive. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. Yeah, today's word of the day is cromulent. Today's other word of the day is intrusive. Today's word of the day is Baja Blast. That's 2 words, but I think it's fair enough. It's fair game, I think. People who make word of day calendars don't have a soul anyway. If you work for Hallmark, I feel like you replace whatever neurons you used to use for empathy with like minion memes, I feel. I don't know how else to put it. Like, that's the only way I can explain some of the Hallmark cards I've seen. Wait, does Hallmark do the word of the day calendars? Does Hallmark do calendars? I don't know if they do calendars actually. I might be shooting the messenger here. I wouldn't be surprised if Hallmark did calendars as well. I feel like somehow cards and calendars are just like a hair's width apart to me, in terms of like just substance. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they're like both based around like events, right? I think that might be a part of it. Then over here, and then over here. Like, don't get me wrong, I love learning new vocabulary. I just feel like word of day calendars are kind of almost patronizing. I imagine they were much more popular in days when like reading wasn't taught as like a normal life skill. I don't know. Like, they just feel very patronizing to me, which doesn't necessarily mean they're patronizing to everybody, but that's just my thoughts and opinions on them. Like, if somebody handed me a word of day calendar, I think that they were picking a fight. Let's see over here. Then wait, no, this would be on top over here. Man, if architects have to do this shit all the time, I understand why so many of them end up building like dungeons. Like, I feel like if I had to do this for my day job, I would also go a little bit insane. Thank God I just have to look at numbers at an Excel spreadsheet all day. Yeah, that makes me insane, but in like a different way. I feel like long-term exposure to Excel does cause some manner of like radiation in your system. Humans weren't meant to look at spreadsheets for too long. They're pretty, yes, but they're not like good for the spirit, I think. It's how like employees who work with radiation are only allowed for like a certain amount of time a year to be exposed to radiation out of health concerns. I feel like my job should do something similar, but for Excel spreadsheets. Like I said, I love the things, but they can be vexing. They're good when they turn out though, like properly. That is something that I noticed consistently in like my account, in like as I studied accounting, is that when your books don't balance, it's hell. But when they do and they feel like they balance properly, it feels great. I guess that's true of most things, but I think like it's particularly true of like number things that it's very frustrating if you don't get wins in there, you know? Particularly because like in accounting specifically, it kind of cascades down, right? If you make a mistake somewhere, that same mistake will show up somewhere else. That's just kind of like how accounting works. It has that a principle baked into it. Yeah. The double entry accounting system is an elegant solution to a very difficult problem, and I honestly hate it with all my entire heart. Yeah. If you've never studied accounting, the double entry accounting system essentially means that for each event that happens, basically, you need to make two entries, one debit and one credit entry. That's just how counting works. Yeah. Yeah. Like, so debits and credits don't necessarily mean that you're gaining or losing money. They're just kind of like balances essentially. You can substitute it for anything else. Even like you can think of them as like yin and yang points. They're like having more yin and more yang isn't necessarily good or bad, but ideally they should balance out in the end. Yeah. So like for example, if I say for example got a little bit of cash money doing commission work, I would write down like let's say $40 in revenue. That would be a credit because that's just how revenues are treated. Revenues are treated as credits. Now, but in order to offset that credit, I would need a corresponding debit balance, which would normally go to cash. So if I just directly receive cash for my work, that would be a debit to cash. So that would be debit to cash $40 and credit to revenue $40. Very elegant, very balanced, very cool. Now, the thing is that not everything is as simple as that. And that's when we start to have problems. Factor in the fact that like a lot of it is like a lot of it is kind of by necessity based on best judgment. And essentially, as long as you have accounting and humans doing accounting, you will need like auditing for those accounts because you're going to get something wrong. It happens to all of us. You're going to get something wrong. Which thankfully means that for the way I've been trained, I just have employment in perpetuity. And Lord knows I'm miserable now. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, for background, that's serviceable, I think. I want to play around a little bit with like values. I wish there was a way to like scramble the brush size a little bit. I think there is like a way to like, hang on. I got an idea. Brush shape. Okay, it would be really funny if I did that, but I really shouldn't. Spray? Wait, how come these guys are fine? Actually, having it just as a spray would be pretty useful for like distinguishing everything. But like I said, I had something else in mind. So I might actually thicken this up. I'm gonna copy and paste this layer first. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna thicken it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna turn it into a frequency expression layer. And I am going to what can I do here? I think first I need to rasterize it. That's the first thing that I need to do. Then increase the luminosity just a little bit, and I think I need to increase the dot frequency as well. There, now it looks kind of like see-through without actually being see-through. I don't know if that's optimal, though. That's really no different to what I did earlier, is it? Maybe I lower the luminosity a little bit. Okay, we need to boost the frequency. And then maybe instead of using the circles, we can use the lines? I'm still not sure how I feel about that. Well, we can come back to it some other day. Honestly, I should just leave it like this. Actually, you know what? Hang on. I got a better idea. I'm going to copy and paste it again, and then I'm just going to decrease the brush size on this a little bit. There we go. Yeah, okay, I think that's good. I think that works. Sometimes simple is all you need, huh? Okay. I think that's a good place to drop off for today. All right, well, thank you all for coming by. We got 3 viewers. Let's go find somebody to raid. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I'll be doing some more comic work again tomorrow, probably on this very same panel, or not even the same panel, the same page. I mean. Oh yeah, lots of people are active. Let's see. Oh, V's still doing the just chatting with a Token Tuesday. All right, let's go say hi. Goodness, I feel like sometimes yeah, it's fun how like one things can sometimes take up the entire stream. But I'm happy with the work we've done today. I'll see you all later. Bye.